Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, the SAP screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. So I'm right now using the SAP Logon GUI 770, which is the last version in the ECC release. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the last GUI release in ECC. After that, it's everything in S4. So yeah, so it kind of looks good compared to the previous versions, the classic
Mm.
theme and all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, let me log in.
ECC 6.0 is the latest version.
Yeah, the EHP 7 is the final release.
Mm.
Okay.
AHP 7. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I don't have to take you through the general overview. I mean, the SAP screens and everything, right? Like
Mm.
you're quite familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we know that the configuration screen for SAP is SPRO, the transaction code.
Yeah.
So
So, so Sriram, do we have any notes in the online where we can refer the T codes and all?
I have prepared a list of T codes that
Mm.
I have come across, like as part of the finance configuration and the processes.
Yeah.
So I can share you that list. Let me see.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
No,
So,
no, no,
are we
no, no.
recording?
That's okay. Yes,
Are we? Are we?
yes,
Are we recording?
yes, I'm recording.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, please feel free to ask any
Mm.
questions. I mean,
Mm.
provide your suggestions, whatever you
Sure.
see feel. Right? Okay.
Mm.
So right now we entered the SPRO transaction code and it took us to this particular screen. So we know that every transaction code is linked with a program in the background.
Yeah.
So this
Hmm.
background, I mean the program, we call this transaction code and it calls this executable program, which
Mm.
results in this particular screen. So in this particular screen, this is a configuration screen where we do all the configurations for all the modules, and
Yeah.
then we have separate transaction codes and program to run different processes. We'll see that as we come through. So yeah, so in SAP configuration screen, the most important thing when we talk about SAP FICO is how we set up the organizational units and how we
Yeah.
set up each configuration, so that at the
Hmm.
end of the year or at the end of the month, when we are required to report
Hmm.
on a legal basis, we have the right information in the right format.
Hmm.
uh, just one second. One. Okay, so when we talk about business setup from finance perspective, the first thing that we have to configure from the finance standpoint is the company. So company
Hmm.
is where all the business transaction events takes place. Though it is not a required entry, it is not a mandatory that every business has to have a company setup.
Hmm.
The ultimate, the smallest entity that is really required in the finance would be the company code, and a one level higher you can have a company, um, which can be leveraged for reporting purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say we have Tata Group of companies, right? So
Yeah.
Tata Group of companies is not just, they are not just into one vertical in the industry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have their business in energy, they have business in manufacturing, IT. So
Mm-hmm.
all these things, if I want to see, okay, what is the financial position of Tata Group of companies, I can pick that report. I can evaluate or have the report, legal reports prepared at the company level, which would be my Tata Group of companies. So company.
Mm-hmm.
So first, we have the highest organizational unit would be the client. So you know the
Mm-hmm.
client, right?
Yeah.
We have like Dev 100, Dev 200. So client is a unit within SAP where you have every um configuration, every tables setup. So it is individual for different clients. So you may not have the same setup that you, I mean, if you are setting up for a particular business, you may not
Yeah.
have the same setup in client Dev 100 and in
Mm-hmm.
quality client. You may have difference. Maybe the configurations, yes, configurations would be yes, even that also. Some of the configurations you do it in Dev 100, some of the configurations you actually move it to quality. So you have different tables with different set of data for the
Mm-hmm.
single business. So that uh, that being said, client would be the highest um, organization unit where
Mm-hmm.
you do all the configurations and everything. So oops. Um, do you know how to add text?
Text. I never used this OneNote. Is
Okay.
this OneNote?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
okay.
because it looked like Word for me.
Okay, let me open Word itself. Okay, I will just go on with this. Like, I hope
Mm.
maybe I will work out this tagging
Yeah,
parts
sure.
and everything. Okay. Then
Mm-hmm.
within client, then we set up the company. Like I said, okay. So um, for this particular client, I have a company, and I
Mm.
which would be my Tata group of companies, or let's say you own a business, Gayatri Infotech, or Gayatri group of
Mm.
companies. So that would be
Mm-hmm.
my highest level at
Yeah.
which I can do the reporting. So let's say in this case ABC company, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and within this company I can have n number of companies in the client.
Yeah.
I can have n number of company codes within the
Yeah.
uh, company. So company code
Mm-hmm.
would be another smallest unit, organization unit, where it is the at least you should have a company code in the system for
Yeah.
you to have a financial reporting. For you to do the
Mm-hmm.
financial reporting, you need to have at least a company code. It is
Mm-hmm.
optional whether to go for a company or not, but you need to
Mm-hmm.
have at least one company code.
Mm-hmm.
So company code one, then I can have company code two, and so on. I can have n number of company codes for the same company, like Tata Steels, Tata IT, TCS, belonging to the Tata group of
Mm-hmm.
companies. Okay.
So I'm just stopping you, Shyam. So Um,
can you just give me 1 minute? I will just plug
yeah,
in.
sure, sure. Battery is there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So, this is the example where this company already have a SAP in a place. So, they are implementing, I mean, they are configuring something on their system.
Right.
Because I heard whenever the SAP FICO job requirement, they asking how many project complete life cycle you have been involved throughout the your experience.
Mhm.
At least you must be involved in two projects life cycle.
Right. End-to-end
So
implementation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is this something, so the project life cycle, which means is this the something the company they doesn't have a SAP ERP in the system where we have to set up everything
Yes.
from scratch, like creating a company code itself.
Yes.
Is that the difference are we looking?
Yes. So, in a support project, if you go in a support project, already these configurations would be in place. So you need not
Yeah.
have to set it up all from the scratch. So everything would be in
Hmm.
place. Only changes you would come across would be minor configurations or enhancements that come as part of
Hmm.
the support projects. Now,
Hmm.
these configurations, yes, it is has to be done from the scratch in case of a greenfield implementation, which is from the scratch, a new implementation of the SAP system for the client. And then if they are moving from an older system to a new system, in case of migration,
Yeah.
right? So in that case
Hmm.
also you need to have all this data set up.
Hmm.
And in brownfield implementation, it would be more like I see brownfield implementation as something that has already been implemented, developed, and uh, sent out to production, and you
Hmm.
are coming with further changes as part of the process or something, right? Hello.
Okay. Yeah, maybe can you just give me a brief introduction about what are what are the configuration part, what are the implementation process, I mean, what are the process involves when it comes to the project life cycle.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because that would be clear focusing for me to before get into the
Sure.
object.
Yes. Just 1 second. I'm getting a call.
Yeah, please.
Sorry for that.
Mm.
Okay. So, when we go to an interview, right, they usually ask for a couple of implementation projects, that is end to end. So, end to end, when you hear about that that phrase, like, it's like you have to be involved right from the beginning, like where you
Mhm.
gather the requirements
Yeah.
from the stakeholders, I mean, from the client, from the business,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
bridge the gaps that is there,
Yeah.
as is, and to be gaps has to be filled. Uh,
Mhm.
then once you identify all this design blueprints, what is required on the
Mhm.
process, like you may have integration points of finance with different modules, so you have to sit and identify what are the um, standard processes that we can utilize for the business as
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
It's not like everything has to be customized. Now there are, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
SAP caters almost most of the scenarios, and there are specific
Mhm.
scenarios which we need to have to go to enhancement. So those are
Yeah.
like identifying the gaps, right? So
Mhm.
you see what is the as is process of the business, you see
Mhm.
what is the to be process,
Mhm.
and you identify where we have to implement enhancements. And um, it not just involves finance, it has to be like, you have to get involved with other stakeholders like part of sales, purchase, production, to
Mm,
understand the
mm,
entire
mm, mm.
business process and how we could integrate FI uh, in the most efficient way, right?
Yeah.
So once you have all this design, I mean, this all comes part of as part of analysis phase or the design phase, right?
Mm,
Then you, once you have identified the processes like the business, there are blueprint documents which you prepare as part of the analysis phase. So based on the blueprint documents, you would, um, if it is a configuration change, you don't have to involve other technical teams. If it is a, if it is an enhancement where you need to be involved with cross modules technical teams, then you would have to work with the individual teams to
mm.
have the processes or built in the system, right? So we start uh, doing this process from the development client. Now the business will mostly have like three clients for sure. One is the development, quality, and then the production system, right?
Mhm.
So these are the three important clients, and they may or may not have a sandbox system as well as a pre-production system. So it's like,
Mm.
you have a sandbox system, um, where you see that okay, you have identified a process. Now you want to know whether the process is going to work or not. If it is a configuration, um, technical, it could be a configuration, or I mean the change or the build could be a configuration change or it could be a technical change, right?
Yeah.
Now if I want to test before doing it
Mm.
in the development client, I can have a sandbox system which is open for all the I mean the teammates, I mean for the entire team, where they could try prototypes,
Yeah.
proof of concepts. So you could do all these things in the sandbox system. Ideally
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
done in the sandbox system.
Yeah.
So mostly the business will have a sandbox client to do all these things. Let's say sandbox client 100 is like
Mm.
it would be something like SBX 100, something of that sort. Let's
Mhm.
Then once you have tested, okay, if you are okay with the configuration,
Yes.
you tried the configuration, you tested, you did a little unit testing in the sandbox, it works perfectly. Now what would be the next step? It is to build the project, right? Build that
Mhm.
particular task. This is done in the development client. Development client, again, it could be, there will be, I think there will be mostly two clients, dev let's say 100 and dev 200. You know why we have these two clients? um, uh, Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sorry.
So we do have a two environment before we get into the production.
Yeah, we will have.
Because I know I used a sandbox for different ERP,
Okay.
but I'm new to the development client. So this is also environment, right?
Yes, yes. So yeah, so these are the environments that would be available in a normal life cycle. Okay. And the
Okay.
production system.
Oh, pre-production system.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you use different logins, the
Yes.
credentials for different. Okay.
Exactly.
Shriram, may I ask you what is the sound? Often I'm getting my ear will clucking
Okay.
one side.
I'm really sorry. It's my mobile.
It's like a calling bell sound.
No, yeah, it's kind of. I will just put it in mute. Yeah, yeah, silent. Yeah.
Thank you. Because sorry, I'm using a headphone, so I'm getting all the sound very closely.
No problem. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, so sandbox is where you will do all the testing I mean the
Yeah.
proof of
Yes.
concepts, prototyping and
Yeah.
everything. You see
Mm.
if it is working. Sometimes what happens is that the business would come up with a requirement where you know
Mm.
that where you're not quite sure if it can be done using configuration alone, or sometimes you need to have a little enhancement. So
Mm.
dev 100 or the dev 100, we have a client over here, right? Dev 100. So this is like the golden client. Okay, so you
Mm.
do not mess with this client with lot of unwanted data, right?
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah.
It cannot be used like sandbox. So
Yeah.
this is the source client where you look up for the exact configuration and the
Mm.
programs that has been moved into it. So you do not want to mess up with this client. So
Yeah.
all the testing, like I said, if you are not sure of, let's say I want to create a company. Now this is a
Yeah.
simple configuration. For this you do
Mm.
not need to go into sandbox. You know that okay,
Mm.
this is for me to create a company I have to go to this particular transaction or a configuration node, and I can do that configuration. I know that I it does not have further any other implications on the other standard processes. So I can just go ahead and do that. But there will be some
Mm.
requirements where you need some uh, assurance, for which you will do the prototyping and stuff, right? That is mainly done in the sandbox. So once you are confirmed about what changes you are going to make, all the
Mm.
functional changes will be done in the development 100 or the golden client. This is purely for functional configurations,
Mm.
like setting up company code, payment terms, tax codes.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Okay, customer like not customer masters. I mean, master data has to be created individually in different system. Um, um, all
Maybe GL codes.
even GL also you have to create in separate clients.
Oh.
But there are like we just discussed, like payment terms, tax code.
Mm.
There are
Mm.
um, what other the I mean GL splitting. There are like the
Mm.
new GL configuration is there. All these configurations you have to do it in dev 100.
Mm.
Okay, the configuration changes will be done in the golden client or the dev 100. Now what about dev 200? This is where the technical team will make their or write their programs. This is purely dedicated to the ABAP team, dev 200. It could be the
Mm.
numbers could differ. It depends on the client, I mean
Yeah.
basis team. So I'm just giving this as an example. So dev 200 is dedicated to the technical team. Now the
Mm.
technical team ABAP will write programs. Let's say you have a reporting requirement for your company, and the standard program, there are standard reports, but it does not cater to your requirement. So you need to add certain fields in the output
Mm.
or in the input screen. For this you will ask the developer, okay, this is a requirement to make these changes in this program in these areas, like these are the tables affected. You give all these details, right? As a functional consultant you are responsible to give most of the details to the technical
Mm.
person.
Yeah.
You cannot just say that okay, I want a report and the client is asking me to add fields, custom fields A, B and C. You have to say
Mm.
that okay, this field you can get data from this particular table and all that. You have to give in-depth detail to the technical
Mm.
team.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Mm.
technical team, they will make the changes in the dev 200, and once they are done with the changes they will move it to the dev 100.
Mm.
Changes move to dev 100. Now what happens in dev 100, you will have the updated report, right?
Yeah.
I mean whatever the technical changes they have made as
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the
Sure.
client requirement for your particular report, custom report, they have made the changes
Mm-hmm.
and they have moved it to the 100. Now in
Yeah.
100 you would be able to check that report and then do a simple unit testing if it is
Yeah.
picking up. I mean, when I say uh, unit test in the dev client,
Mhm.
you would not do an extensive testing.
Mhm.
Okay, so mostly what we would carry out would be like, okay, this is a transaction code for that custom report. Let me see if it is working. I will run the transaction code. I will see, okay, the
Mhm.
report is working fine. Now I will see what are the inputs, right?
Mhm.
Now I will enter those inputs. Are those values correct? Are the validations, everything is done perfectly? You check all those things, and then you
Mhm.
execute and verify if the report is working okay. You test the program with the minimum data, or just few data, not the entire scenario. You do not have to test like n number of
Mhm.
scenarios. I mean, a process
Mhm.
can have n number of scenarios, right? Say for
Yeah.
example, um, you are configuring a tax code. Okay,
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
we have, as per GST, we have IGST, SGST, CGST, and there are like 9% tax, right, on SGST and
Mhm.
CGST,
Mhm.
and then 18 in IGST, and it differs on different products also.
Mhm.
So you would not test each and every tax code, right?
Mhm.
Like you would not post a journal entry and see if each and every, like you have configured like 20 tax codes, you would not check each
Mhm.
and every 20, all the 20 tax codes. You will just
Mhm.
check, okay, I have created the tax code, is it appearing in this particular screen? Or
Mhm.
you would check the calculation, if the calculations are done correctly for a couple of tax codes, that's it. And then you move the
Mhm.
changes to the next system. That is what I said.
Mhm.
As part of unit testing, you will not do an extensive testing, just a
Yeah.
simple set of data to ensure
Mhm.
that whatever changes have been made is intact. Now once that is
Mhm.
done, you move the changes. Functional team will move their functional changes, technical team will move their technical changes.
Mhm.
Once you,
Mhm.
so you have done the testing, you will confirm it to the technical team, they will move the changes for that technical part. Functional changes,
Okay.
you have to move it. When I say
Mhm.
you have to move it, again, this is also a, this is more like an authorization that you have in the business, I mean in the project. In the first support project that I worked, I was
Mhm.
supposed, I mean, we as a consultant were responsible for moving the changes, whatever changes we made in development, to quality system.
Mhm.
We ourselves have to move it. But in most of the projects, the process would be like, you make the changes, you will have to fill out certain forms. Like there will
Mhm.
be certain forms where you will fill, okay, this is the change, this is the TR number. There will be a transport request which will be created to bind all the changes that you have made in the system. You will mention those TR and everything to the basis team. The basis team will then move the changes from the development to the quality system.
Okay.
uh, yeah, so far it's clear.
The last part, no, I'm not clear with the, when you're starting the unit testing. So you do the testing in the same development client environment, right?
Right.
So after that, I'm just, I couldn't able to visualize what are the teams involved in the testing phase. The last part which you explained.
Okay. I will just show a particular configuration. Okay, we'll.
Yeah, maybe if we take any one of the scenario,
Yeah.
it would be easy for me to visualize.
Sure. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. So like I said, the initial, I mean the first configuration node in finance would be
Mhm.
the company, right?
Yeah.
So the in enterprise structure, this is the configuration path. In enterprise
Yeah.
structure definition, financial
Mhm.
accounting, you have the defined
Yeah.
company. Now if you go to
Mhm.
this additional information,
Mhm.
and then the display key, IMG
Mhm.
activity,
Mhm.
what you could see is its corresponding T code as well. So
Okay.
okay, so you see define company, and then you see
Mhm.
this thing, right? This is not the entire T code.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the T code, sometimes you would not. You will just
Mm-hmm.
see for this one, this is not a T code. This is
Mm-hmm.
more like a view, table view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the last four characters actually represents the T code. Like if I
Yeah.
actually go
Okay.
ash slash o
See.
x15, right? So this would take
Yeah.
me to the screen
Mm-hmm.
where I have to create the company.
Yeah.
Okay, now how I create the company, I will go inside this. I will, let's say, I'm just showing you
Yeah.
creating a dummy company at this moment. Just fill
Yeah.
out
Please.
all these details that is required. I think
Mm-hmm.
none of, yeah, only the country is mandatory. So, okay,
It's already existing.
yeah. So I'm just creating a company code and I'm saving it. Now it is asking for a
Yeah.
transport request.
Yeah.
See, now whatever changes I make here, I am going to create a new request for ease of understanding. Mm, okay, and then I will save. So this is my transport request number. I mean the change,
Mm-hmm.
the way they mention this, right? Transport request. It could differ from project to project. Like
Mm-hmm.
they may say the customizing request, or they may just say request. But in uh, ultimately it means the same thing, transport. So
Mm-hmm.
this is something like a binder which carries all your configuration and technical changes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there are two types of transport request. One is customizing request,
Mm-hmm.
which will handle all the configurations, and then
Yeah.
there is workbench request, which will handle all the technical changes.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So you call it as a transport request.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
now we are going to save the company. Now this company will be saved. It says data was saved. And how do I know that? Okay, I just saw the transport request, but I do not know. I did not note the transport request. So how will I go and see
Mm-hmm.
those details? Go to SC09, SC09. So this is like a transport organizer, and I currently do.
Mm-hmm.
I can check this. It is okay. Enter your user ID and then click OK. So here in the customizing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ours was a customizing request. It was a configuration
Yeah.
change, and
Yeah. Fin.
this is the description that I gave.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Fin config.
if you expand this, see, you can see that something has been added. Some task has been
Mm.
added,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
within the task there is some view data, or it is mostly like a
Yeah.
table. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
T880 is a table, and in that table 800 is the client number. The
Mm.
sandbox client number is 800, and ABC01 is the company name that I gave. So whatever
Yeah.
configuration that you created, it is added to this as part of this transport request in an organized way.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you
Mm-hmm.
go inside this company, say I am going to make some extra changes. Now these changes will automatically get added as part of this TR. You do not have to worry
Yeah.
about this. Now if you refresh this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you still have the data. It's not like
Mm.
you will get the entire configuration, whatever you did. Like I added this test company. You may not see
Yeah.
all these things. It will just show you the primary
Mm.
data that is
Mm-hmm.
created as part of this configuration.
Yeah.
Okay. In our case, it is company. If it is a company code, you will see only the company code. You will not see the description, what currency we are using in the transport request.
Mm.
It is automatically binded within it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once you have made the changes, you see, okay, every configuration, the configuration that you have done is perfect. Now you are ready to
Mm-hmm.
move it to the quality system. What you would do is you will give this TR number. You will fill out a form. There will be usually a template that needs to be filled for moving the
Mm-hmm.
changes. Okay, so what would be that template? Would be like more like a there will be a change request, right? If you are going to make some changes in the system, there will be a ticket which will be raised
Yeah.
from the client end,
Mm-hmm.
right? In as part of that ticket, you will do certain changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you will mention all these details. You have to mention all these important details as part of that template and give it to the basis team. The basis team will verify those details,
Mm-hmm.
and they will check from there, and if it is okay to move, they will move it. So usually they will have specific schedule, like maybe every day or maybe every
Mm-hmm.
weekend. I mean, every
Mm-hmm.
Friday they would move, or every Thursday they would move, or maybe it is a quarterly release, something of that sort. So you give the finished changes with the TR number and every other detail to the basis team. They will take care of the uh, transportation of the to the next system. Once they have moved the changes to the quality system is
Mm-hmm.
the subsequent system after development. Okay.
Oh.
So once they move it to the quality system, they will
Mm-hmm.
inform you that okay, these so and so changes that you have requested to move has been moved to the system,
Mm-hmm.
has been moved to the
Mm-hmm.
quality system. Please go ahead and do your
Mm-hmm.
testing. So
Uh,
once the changes are moved to the quality system,
yeah.
that is where you do the regression testing. You do a thorough testing.
Mm-hmm.
Thorough testing, as in it should cover almost all the scenarios that is possible. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say for Gayatri group of companies or Infotech, you are running a IT company. Now there are certain transactions coming in, and you have like interstate customer, intrastate
Mm-hmm.
customer is there. You have a foreign customer as well. Okay. And whatever changes, let's say you have configured the tax code, you need to check the tax code is working perfectly for the interstate customers, for the intrastate
Mm-hmm.
customers, as well as for the foreign customers, right? You have to do all this
Yeah.
testing. You cannot just check,
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's not like you know that the calculations are working perfectly, but you have to carry out the entire business scenario. Whatever business
Mm-hmm.
scenario is there, you have to take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
Payment terms, you are creating a payment terms. You as a service provider has a agreement with the
Mm.
customer, like
Yeah.
if you I will give you the service, but you have to make the payment within 30 days. Now if you
Yeah.
make the payment within 30 days, I will give you a 10% discount. So these are
Mm-hmm.
some agreements that will be defined as part of your payment terms. Now you make those
Mm.
payment terms. um, how could you do the testing? You could simply post a financial invoice.
Mm.
Like I will come to all those things, like you can actually post an accounting document in finance alone,
Mm.
and you can post an accounting document as part of sales and purchase process also. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So when a vendor invoice or a customer invoice
Yeah.
is created as part of sales and purchase, an accounting
Mm.
document also gets generated. So
Mm-hmm.
you will see how the payment term is reflected in that entire chain, in
Mm.
that entire cycle. And you should also see how it is working individually when I post a financial document alone in the system without
Mm.
involving other modules. So
Mm.
I'm just trying to give you an example. Like you have to
Yeah.
try
Yeah. Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I can.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you will prepare a test script where you will
Mm.
list out all the test scenarios and the test steps that
Mm.
needs to be carried out, right? And then against the test steps, you will have the expected results and the actual results. So you will,
So,
yeah.
so we have any testing script format in a place where we have to follow because each company have a different thing to follow, right?
Right. It actually depends on the project, like how the template would be. But usually a test script will have a test scenarios, like mostly the important scenarios that needs to be covered.
Yeah.
And then within the test scenarios, what are the test steps? Like you will say,
Mm.
okay, go to this. If it is a report,
Yeah.
we initially talked about a custom report, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the first step would be to go run the transaction code.
Mm.
Go run the transaction code. That would be
Yeah.
my first step. I want to
Mm. Yeah.
See, I am giving you this custom report. Now the user has to verify that it is working for him, right?
Yes.
So they will have to run, okay, I execute transaction code so and so.
Mm.
What do I see? That would be my expected results, and what do I actually see would be my actual results. So this would be, this is like a regular template, but it could vary in projects. I mean, all the documents.
Yeah, projects and comes to the different
Yeah,
features
yeah.
based on functionality. So it's really interesting, Shriram, because I can just correlate when I working with the reporting different using different T codes how it was working from the functional side.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah, so that is what you do in the quality system, where you do end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing has to
Yeah.
be done on the
Mm,
configuration change or on the custom enhancement, so that you
mm,
make sure that whatever changes or whatever development you have done is not
mm,
affecting any of the standard process or any other processes in the SAP system. That
mm.
is what you achieve by doing this end-to-end testing in the quality system.
Yeah,
Okay, so the main thing is end-to-end testing
interesting.
of the configuration
Mm,
and processes without affecting any other standard or custom programs. Okay, so quality system, you do the testing again. This is where your um, I mean, actually there is okay, I will talk about the ticketing tool later on. So
mhm,
yeah, usually you will have a ticketing tool also simultaneously, where like HPALM or BMC remedy, there will be some
mhm,
ticketing tools where uh, that ticketing tool H would be as per the agreement with the project business, right? So you have the
mhm,
HP, I mean the ticketing tool where the client will raise a ticket. It could be a change request, minor enhancements, bug,
mhm.
defects. So everything
Yeah.
has to be identified with a ticket number. They will raise a ticket
Mhm,
number. It will go through approvals and everything from the client side, from
mhm,
the solution
mhm,
architect, business
mhm,
analyst. They will all review these changes if it is actually required, or what needs to be done. So all these things will be handled in a ticket or a change
mhm,
request. So
mhm,
everything
mhm.
will be documented right from build to the production, right? Whatever changes has been done will be documented as part of it, including the TR
Yeah,
numbers, everything.
yeah,
You
yeah.
will also attach the test scripts also. When you do the quality
Mhm.
testing, you will also attach the test scripts as part of the ticket. You will
So
yeah.
do you use any tool to track all of this documentation?
That depends on the I mean, that actually differs from project to project.
Okay, you can just tell me of any of the tool which I have used
Okay,
because why I'm noting I have something to talk in the interview, right? So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
SAP has a ticketing tool, SAP Solution Manager. You must have heard about
SAP
it.
Solution Manager. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah,
SAP Solution Manager, it actually helps you document in the same tool as well.
yeah,
It helps
yeah.
you post your knowledge-based articles, KBAs,
Oh, okay.
documentation workarounds. I mean, it's a
Mm.
documenting tool as well as a ticketing tool.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So I have
Yeah,
used the
ticketing
Solution
tool.
Manager as part of my support project when
Mm,
I initially joined. So
mm.
you can interact with
All
the
right.
client, I mean the end user,
Mm.
within the same tool.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. And then you have
Mm.
HPALM.
HPALN. Okay.
Yeah, so this is also a ticketing tool where the end user raises a change request or a bug
Oh,
defect, and
okay.
then documentation also done within that. And
Yeah.
HPALM can also be used as a testing tool as well. So basically what happens is that you will prepare a test script. Test script usually will be
Mm.
prepared as part of an Excel. You will have a template, um,
Mm.
right? And what happens is that you will upload this template to the HPALM.
Ah.
Okay, so you will be able to see the script that you like in a tabular form. Okay, this
Mm,
is my test scenario, this is my s- test step,
mm,
what
mm,
is my expected results, actual results. So you can execute it one by one like a to-do list.
mm.
You can do it,
Yeah.
execute it one by one.
Mm,
So all the tracking, documentation, everything can be done as part of that that respective tool. It depends.
mm,
Again, sometimes they can have a different tool for documentation. Sometimes they can have a different tool for ticketing.
mm.
It depends on the project to project.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once all your testing is completed in quality system,
Mm,
you will attach the
mm.
test results. You will have to submit
Yeah.
all these test results. Like you have to.
Mm,
Usually, what will happen is like you will have to update the business process documents, configuration documents,
mm.
testing documents by this time. By the time your
Ah.
changes has moved to quality, you should be ready and updated with all these documents,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Whatever the changes, all these things has to be tracked as part of
Mm,
version management. So you upload those test scripts, everything in the respective list. Sometimes it is shared folder, sometimes they have a
mm.
separate, like I said, a separate tool to handle all these things. So once
Yeah.
all this thing is done, you
Mm-hmm.
get the approval from the
Yeah.
end user and the solution architect, everyone. I mean, the respective stakeholders. You get the approval from the respective
Respective stakeholder. Yeah.
yeah, and then move the changes from the. After getting the approval, you can request again. Again, there is a template, right? You have
Mm,
to inform the basis team that okay, now this changes has
mm,
been thoroughly tested in the quality
mm.
system, and now please move the changes that is associated with the so and so transport request number from quality system to the pre-production system.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
now in pre-production system, what happens is that this is where the end user comes into picture.
Mm,
So this is where the end user test the changes that you have made,
mm.
or this is the first interaction that the end user will have with the SAP system. Hello.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just noting
Yeah,
down the, yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
So how would the end user do the testing? Now you have
mm,
made the tax code changes, everything. You have moved it to the pre-production system. You have documented everything in place. Now
mm,
you could give all these documents to the end user. I mean, the end user will have access to these documents.
mm.
They can refer, they can look, have a review, and then have a. They could do it by themselves. But you will usually have a handover session, a knowledge
Yeah.
transfer session. Like, okay, see, these are the changes that we have moved recently to the pre-production system. You will have a discussion call with them, set up calls, right,
Mm,
to inform them, okay, this changes has moved to the pre-production system, how you are going to do the
mm.
testing, like all this planning, like when will be the, you will have a schedule to finish, like what, how you will aid the end user with the testing. That is what you will do. You will
Yeah.
not do the testing, but you will aid them in
Mm.
doing the testing in the pre-production system. They have to do it
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they,
So,
yeah,
mm. Sorry, sorry. You go ahead. You finish it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hello.
once they do the testing, again, how will they do the testing? Like when we did testing in quality, we were
Mm-hmm.
updating the test scripts and all in HPALM or something, right?
Mm.
With the results and everything, we will update certain
Yeah.
tools. So like that, even they have to
Mm-hmm.
go to the respective tool and
Mm.
document whatever results they have come across. And if they have,
Yeah.
if they have come across some problems, if they, if they don't come across any problem, they will just pass the test script, and they will finally
Mm.
approve the changes to be moved to the final system production. And if there are some defects, then they will raise another defect
Mm.
in the ticketing tool, and you will have to fix it again from the development system. So it would be like, yeah. Yeah, you were saying something.
So fact. Oh, just a minute. I finished my notes. So I was, example, in the finance team there will be a lot of people working or waiting for the changes, but I don't think so, I never get a chance to use the end user testing. Either I think business analyst in the place where I have to do the end user testing before getting into the production system, or a finance manager, they do themselves and give the results in the two.
Yeah.
Is that the way it works, or how it is work in Accenture? I'm not sure.
Uh,
Because if you think, if you're implementing, if you're customizing something, so you can't tell to the all of the team member to check, right?
yes. So that's what there will be a ownership. I mean, there will be some person with the ownership of that particular
Yeah,
requirement.
yeah, maybe team leader or someone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
or else, yeah.
So
Mm.
they have to get involved in that particular process. So
Mm.
once only they test and confirm,
Yeah,
we can go further with the approvals from higher management. Like there will
yeah.
be, I mean, CCB. I think it's called. I mean, some change board is there. Some CAB. I think
Mm.
change advisory board. I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's like uh, they handle whatever changes that is coming into the SAP system for all the modules. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like their final call will actually let us know if the changes can be moved or not, or if further
Yeah.
changes needs to be done. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
first you have to confirm as a functional analyst from
Mm-hmm.
your end, along with the, if technical teams are involved, along with them you have to confirm the changes are fine from your end. Then
Yeah.
the immediate um, end user or the business analyst who is responsible to handle this particular task will do the testing in the pre-production system. Once they get the
Mm-hmm.
conformal, I mean, so once you get the approval, you
Mm-hmm.
could go for the final approval from the client team, CAB
Mm-hmm.
team. There will be some point of contacts. So once you get all that approval, it could be finally moved into the production system. This is just to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that everything is in place and nothing has been um, like um, there's nothing shortcoming in the changes, like from
Mm-hmm.
what has been agreed in the beginning,
Yeah.
right? So once all the changes has been confirmed, you can move it to the production system, which would be the final system. After which
Mm.
there is no role. After which, I mean, in the production system, you cannot access the system.
Y-
I don't think you will be even. I mean, I think only display access would be given. That to a
Mm.
very limited number of
Less
consultants.
restricted level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not
Mm-hmm.
everyone will get the access to the production system, and also
Mm.
not like it all depends on the authorization, like how the base
Mm.
system is going to what authorizations
Mm.
we have. So again, no changes in the production system. Again, in all this system, right? QA, PPA, production. In these
Mm.
three systems, if you come across any changes or any fixes
Mm.
that needs to be done, it all has to come from development.
Mm.
So from development you will do it again, then again the same process starts. You have to move it from development to quality,
Mm.
quality to pre-production.
Mm. Yeah.
That is yeah, yeah. So anything to ask here, or Gayatri? Yeah.
So far, I'm good, Sriram. It's good. Good explanation.
Okay, thank you.
Now I'm got, now I'm just, very curious coming
Mhm.
across the upcoming trainings.
Okay. Yeah. So coming back to
So this is the overall process. given for whatever the configurations, technical changes.
Yes,
Yeah. Mm.
this would be the ultimate. I mean, even if you're a support consultant, right? Anyways, you have to deal
Mm.
with all these environments.
Yeah.
So even if you're a support consultant, maybe the amount of changes and enhancements you see in a support project would be less, because it would have
Mm.
been mostly stable. I mean, it would have
Mm.
become more stable by then, because after
Mm.
implementing there will be some few issues that gets covered as part of hypercare or something. After that,
Yeah.
when it
Mm.
goes to support, it would be like minor enhancement or minor bugs that needs to be
Mm.
fixed. Again, all this has to be done from development through production. Now
Mm.
again, the the most important aspect of a functional consultant is how, I mean, this all has to be documented in a right way, right? So
Mm.
you have to mention all these. I mean, in-depth details has to be included as part of your design documents or
Mm.
change documents, configuration,
Yeah.
as well as the even in the tickets. It could be.
Mm.
It is advisable if you could be as precise and clear about what is being done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Next is, one second. I'm just trying to. Okay, so the important documents that you would come across as part of a functional consultant would be business
Mm.
process documents, right? Business process, BPD or blueprint. Sometimes they are called BDD as well. I'm not sure. They go by different names at times.
Mhm.
Okay, so business process document basically deals with your assets and delivery process. You ask for the requirement, you tell in the documentation. Again, there will be a template in the project
Mhm.
that you go. Um, so it would be mostly identifying what is the business requirement, why it is needed, what is the standard process or the as-is
Yeah.
process, what is the to-be process.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then you will have functional documents. Functional documents um, are like the like it details the exact changes that is being done,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
for configuration change, you will post a screenshot of what changes you have made. Like
Yeah.
there will be versions. Like if it is a
Mhm.
functional document for a particular process, let's say for the custom report, you have already moved the changes to the quality system as per
Mm.
the initially agreed design. You have made the changes, you have moved it to the quality system. Now
Mhm.
now after reviewing, the client is asking if this could be done, if a little further, little more enhancement needs to be done in certain
Yeah.
areas. So you have to mention all these changes, like this was the initial design agreement. Then you
Mhm.
will note down what is the subsequent changes that has been requested for, or what are the
Mhm.
subsequent updates, and how it is impacting functionally as well as technically. So this document you give it to the technical team.
Yeah.
When you're working on a technical change, you give this document to the technical team. Like you have a
Mhm.
discussion with the technical team, you say that okay, this is the requirement, this is what
Mm.
needs to be done. And when you say that, you have like when I initially told you, right, you have to give all the details,
Mhm.
like SE69. This is a transaction code for table. Now we created a company right now, right? It is
Mhm.
stored in this table T880 global company data. Now if I just execute it,
Mhm.
what happens? Yeah, if I give execute this, it is displaying what I have configured, right, with
Mm-hmm.
the corresponding fields. Now, in the report, in the custom report, you want the technical, I mean the ABAPer to fetch this value and display it in the report. You have to display the company name in the report, right? So
Yeah.
you have to tell the developer, okay, go to this table, fetch the data from here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give the table name, you have to give the field name. These are the technical names.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think there is a configuration somewhere here. Yeah, technical view of technical name as column heading. Okay, why it is? See, earlier we saw the company. I mean, we saw the technical names. Now you are seeing the actual description of the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just give, okay, hey, you just go to this table and fetch company. You cannot say like that. You have to give the table name as well as the field name.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how detailed you have to be in your functional document. When a
Yeah.
when an ABAPer looks at your functional document, he should just look at that and go and code. That's it.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, understand.
Right. This is what the developer will expect from you.
Mm.
They will actually not go into all this exploration stuff and all. Like,
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
do all the background
Mm.
work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime you will have user exits. Sometime business transaction
Mm.
even needs to be triggered. So you have to identify, okay, for this process these are the BTs that are available, or these are the user exits that are available.
Mm.
And you have to tell them that, okay, you try using this user exit or BT, and if you can do that enhancement. So you have to
Mm.
give the lead to the technical team through the functional document with all the details as
Yeah.
possible.
Mm-hmm.
So functional documents is where where a detail um, where details are maybe I'm so generic when I make write this statement. I hope you get what I was trying to say, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
Sriram, I gone through the business analyst training
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
can imagine what you're trying to say.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, you should also mention, like, okay, um,
Mm.
if you're running an automatic payment program, you should also tell that, okay, this is how it has to be run in the process, and
Mm.
this is the place where I need to see the changes. Like,
Yeah,
so, I mean, in step by step, you have to have the process and the configurations detailed, so
yeah.
that it is technically understood
Mm.
from the
So,
developer.
so do you use flow chart and all? No?
Flowchart, in functional document, I have used it in
No, or just use you use a Word file or a
yeah,
presentation file.
it's mostly Word file.
Word file,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I have I there is no, I mean, nothing wrong in including a flowchart in a functional document or a
Mm.
BPD, but there is a
Mm.
template which your project might be following, so it is better
Mm.
to stick with that. I
Mm.
think flowchart and all, it usually comes in the BPDs, business process
Mm.
document, where you say that, okay, this is how the process is going to.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
In
Mm.
the functional
Yeah.
document, it would be more about the changes that is
The
actually being done,
features, yeah, the
and
features,
what,
functionals
yeah,
to be added in the
and
process, yeah.
how you are going to achieve that functionality, what needs to be done.
Mm.
Everything has to be mentioned in order to achieve that particular functionality. That is what
Mm.
is
Yeah.
done in FDs. Now,
Yeah.
similarly,
Perfect.
there will be technical documents. You don't have anything to
Mm.
do with this technical documents, because
Mm.
it is responsibility of the technical team. Now,
Mm.
you said that okay, you need a custom report. The development team
Mm.
has made the changes. Like
Mm.
how you have like documented what are the changes functionally that is needed in the functional
Yeah.
document. Technical team will document whatever is written as part of the code
Yeah.
and as part of
Mm-hmm.
standard practice, so that in future if there is
Mm.
some change, if a different consultant comes and look into that technical
Mm.
document, he should be able to understand okay, this is how it is
Yeah.
flowing,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm.
usually with the screenshots of what code has been
Mm.
created. Again, in functional document also you will have the screenshots of what configurations you have done,
Mm.
and all that stuff. You can attach supportive screens. That's what am
Yeah.
intending to say. Yeah. Then you have configuration documents.
Mm-hmm.
Configuration documents is where you list out all the configurations that is carried out as part of the system implementation. So all the
Mm.
configurations, nothing else. You're not going to worry about the process and all that stuff. All the configuration
Mm-hmm.
documents will be um, configuration changes, its corresponding screens, maybe, or
Mm.
if not corresponding screens, you can have an Excel sheet where you can list out okay, these are my tax codes that has been added so far. Now,
Mm.
if the client comes up and with a new tax code,
Mm.
you can just add this tax code as part of the Excel sheet and attach to the Word
Mm.
document or the configuration
Okay.
document, right? So that when I go and see, okay, I I have a clear picture of like these are
Mm.
the tax codes that is
Mm.
required from the business end. And do
Yeah.
we have all these
Mm.
tax codes in the system? I can cross verify
Mm.
with this
Mm.
documentations.
Yeah.
And in configuration documents, you mostly have almost all the details. Like in company, in company itself, you saw different fields, right?
Yeah.
Like company name one was there, name two was there, then the country, then there is currency,
Mm.
OX15. See, company ID, company name, name of company, street, PO box.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you will have to detail. I mean, you will have to document all this data,
Mm.
so that you
Mm.
have an information on what configuration has been done. Tomorrow, if you go and
Mm.
change the street address or the city, you will know that okay,
Mm.
this is the change that has
Mm.
been made as part
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. Then you have the testing documents, test scripts, and other and supporting documentations. So test scripts will mostly be an Excel sheet with the scenarios,
Mm.
the test scripts. I mean the test steps and the results. Now
Yeah.
they once you have an approved test script, it will be uploaded to a particular tool,
Mm.
or else it could be maintained in the Excel sheet also, like in a shared folder or something. Like it depends on the project. So you have to have a complete evidence for whatever you have done
Mm.
as part of testing.
Mm.
Tomorrow, like if you want to go back and see, okay, you made some changes, right?
Mm.
You did the testing and you want to ensure that is this how my functionality was working before doing these changes. So I need some
Mm.
evidence as
Mm.
part of that testing. So you document all the screens as part of the testing process. All this documentation will be there. The document numbers will be recorded.
Mm.
Like when you create an accounting document, there will be an ID that gets generated, document number.
Yeah.
So you have to
Mm-hmm.
document all these document numbers as part of the your testing document. Like you can just
Mm-hmm.
simply write like okay, uh, create a tax code, test case 1. I have created the tax code A0 with 10 percentage. So I will document the configuration screen of that. I will document the test results of that. What I will do is I will post an invoice and I will see if 10 percentage is getting picked in the journal entry,
Mm.
and I will document the
Mm.
document number that is generated as
Yeah.
part of the posting.
Mm.
Now tomorrow the client is saying no, I want the tax code to be at 11 percentage.
Yeah.
Now you do the same process, you document everything, you post a new invoice, you see that 11 percentage is getting picked. Now how will you compare it, like your current changes with your previous changes? You need some,
Yeah.
right? So with
Mm.
previous document numbers you have already listed out as part of testing document, you can
Mm.
highlight that so and so changes is working properly as compared to
Mm. Mm.
the previous ones. So
Yeah.
yeah, description, supporting documentations, and then what documents are there? Then mostly it is like change approvals, like it would be like templates or approval forms for the transport. I mean, just don't go by this wordings alone for this change approval forms. I will try to get the
Mm.
actual term for that. Okay,
Okay.
like in if it is a transport request, it would be called a transport request form or something of that sort, right?
Yeah.
So you have to document all these approval forms, you have to forward it to get the final approvals and all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Then you have the I mean, after it has gone to the production system, it would be usually a hypercare period where you will handle most of the issues that comes once it has gone live. If there is
Mm-hmm.
any changes or any bugs that needs to be fixed, there will be mostly like a 3-month hypercare period where you will be
Mm-hmm.
supporting. And during that time frame, I think I believe it is most of the handover sessions will be completed by that time, so that
Mm-hmm.
after 3 months you are no longer responsible for handling any of those changes. As in, like
Yeah.
it again depends on the approval or the agreement that the company has with the client. If
Mm-hmm.
further support is going to come to the company, then yes. If not, then you will have to hand over everything, like all the
Mm-hmm.
documents, whatever has been. So at that point, all these highlighted documents, if not properly worked, then it creates a lot of issues, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think this is all about documentations. If there is anything that I missed out, just let me know, or if I come across anything, I will let you know. Okay.